Greetings everyone, how's it going? Today I'm making a video about Ker Nethalas Into the Midnight Throne, which is a single player and co-op dungeon survival game by Blackoath Entertainment. This video, I'm not going to be playing the game yet. I'm going to be demonstrating how to set up the game to be played on Foundry's virtual tabletop. Foundry is a self-hosted and modern role-playing platform. I'm reading this off their website. Foundry Virtual Tabletop is software that provides an innovative online role-playing experience. The software supports Windows, Mac, and Linux and allows you to self-host a game server that players connect to for free directly through a web browser. So that's pretty cool, and so I've made a module for Ker Nethalas that works on Foundry and uses a game system builder called Custom System Builder, or CSB. And this is freely available. You can find it on GitHub. I'll post links in the description of the video and set this up so that you can play this game, on Foundry. Now, you do have to buy the rules. You can buy the PDF on Drive-Thru, RPG, itch.io, and some other places. I don't remember, but I'd buy the PDF if I was you, and then just print it out and put it in a 3-ring binder, because the rules do get updated occasionally. And if you have the hard copy, have the hard copy too, because it's cool to have that, but I prefer the PDFs because, like I said, things change, and I like having it in a 3-ring binder or comb bound, because it's just easier to have the book open like that. So let me get started. So I'm going to show you first how to download and install the module that I've made. Okay, so first I wanted to show you the GitHub page for the module. It's called KerNethalasCSB, all one word. And if you find it, it's going to look like this. This is where this is open source, so you have all the code, but then there's also the releases, which are what are installed through Foundry's interface. So on the page here, you can see that there's a README file, and it describes the basics of how you install. It warns here there's no copyrighted material contained in this module. So this is just the templates that you can use to put Ker Nethalas into Foundry. There's going to be a bit of work, probably a couple hours of work. You want all the roll tables and everything. If you just want to track your character sheet and do the rolling with physical dice, looking at the books, then you don't have to do all that. It's up to you how far you want to go with it, how much you want to put into the system, but all the pieces are there to do so. Now, the first thing you want to do is if you have Foundry, is you want to install this module, and this module is not listed in Foundry's official list, so it won't come up if you search for it in their directory. To install it, I will show you how to do that, but you're going to need this manifest URL right here. This guy right here. Alright? So you're going to copy this link here, right click on it, or however you do it when you're copying stuff. Then from Foundry, you go to the add-on modules. Of course, you're going to need Custom System Builder, and you want to make sure you got the latest version, so you got all the bug fixes and all that. Custom System Builder is in the directory, so when you go install system, you just search for Custom System Builder and it'll be there. And I got a ton of modules here, but what you'd do here is you'd go install module, and then you'd paste that manifest URL in here and click install. And after it's installed, you should see that it is, where is it? Do I know my alphabet? They're listed in alphabetical order right now. The KerNethalasCSB, there it is. And the current version as of the making of this video is 1.0.11. And to update it, if I published an update and you want to update it, you click this and it would, check to see if there's an update. So then what you do after you have that is you're going to create a world, and you could call it whatever you want, like so. And you would say the game system is custom system builder. You could put an image, you could do extra fancy stuff like I've done over here, or not. And that's it. And then you would say create world. So you notice here you're not saying anything about Ker Nethalas yet. You're just setting up a world that uses custom system builder. And so what we want to do is go to manage modules. And yeah, I got a ton. You probably won't have this many if you're just starting out, or you might have 100 more than this if you have been playing this stuff for a while. So then you're gonna check KerNethalasCSB, and really that's all you need to get going. I use a 3D die roller because I like to see the dice rolling on the screen if I am using the the digital dice. I also like this dice tray because it makes it easy. And what else did I want to put on here? Oh, I like Dungeon Draw, because Dungeon Draw is a great one for randomly generating dungeons or drawing the dungeons on the fly. That is a real nice module. And I use this. But I'm only going to be demonstrating the basics, so all this stuff isn't necessary, but I'm just putting it on to show you how I would set it up. And I would roll from the sidebar, roll tables from the sidebar, and all that stuff. Anyways, this is good. It's a good little minimal setup. And of course, I'd always come in first and customize my dice. That looks fine though. Clear out the chat. There's a button to do that here. And so now what? Well, now, because we've enabled the compendiums, the KerNethalasCSB, we have some compendiums here. And these are where all of the templates are stored for Custom System Builder. I'm going to bring them all in because it doesn't seem to work well otherwise. This video is just going to cover setting it up. Maybe I'll make a part 2, but in the same video that shows how you update, and then put a bookmark so you guys can jump to that if you're just interested in how do you update, because there are some challenges to updating the system due to the fact that how Custom System Builder works. So I'm going to import all content for all 3 of these compendiums. I'm going to make sure to check keep document IDs, and I'm going to keep the folder. So we did the macros, and there they are. We're going to import, and as you can see here, the items is empty, the actors is empty, everything's empty. I'm going to import the items, templates, and finally the actor template, making sure on both those to keep document IDs. Okay, cool. And so now we've got our actor templates, we've got our item templates. So what do we do now? We've got the stuff. So let's create a character. We'll call our character Luther. Now when you create the character, it's going to be blank like this. And even though it says the template, you pick the template is character, you have to refresh first or it won't show up. So you click refresh, and now boom, we've got our character sheet. Now this character sheet requires that the weapons we use and the masteries we use are items in our items tab. There's another character sheet which I call the point 1 character sheet, character point 1, that does not require you have those things. You can just enter it in. You can enter in stuff, just type it in, and maybe a little easier for some people if they don't want all the different, have to make all the different items for their character sheet. So I'll demonstrate it using this one. So we have our character sheet, we're level 1, we have no XP, and I won't go through the whole character setup, but generally you pick 2 personal goals, you roll up your attributes, you pick your skills, and then depending on how you're starting the game, there's different ways to do it. You're going to get a weapon, 2 masteries, and some gear, some starting gear. Usually get a weapon, random armor, some money, and a torch. Okay? So that'd be it. You'd set up your character sheet. So let's, I'll do a little bit of this and show you some of the automation that's available. So attributes, you can just click this button here, this die, and it'll say, do you want to roll new attributes? Because you may accidentally click it and then overwrite what you have. So this is just a prompt, friendly prompt to say, yes, I'm sure I want to roll. I want to replace whatever's there with the rolls. You go to the chat too, we'll see when I click yes, it shows what you rolled and how it works. The pluses that are added to your rolls, and then we see our roll, and that's pretty good. That's a good character. So then you see there's no way, how do I add a weapon? It just says weapons. There's nothing here. Well, I'll show you what you would do is I'd create a folder called weapons, and then I would add a new item. Let's just make up a weapon. Let's just pretend this is how the weapon is. I may have some things wrong, but the bastard sword. Let's say I pick bladed weapons as my main skill, and I want a bastard sword. So I'd create this bastard sword, and I would say I'd pick the template as a weapon, press refresh, and now I've got the fields, and I don't remember what it costs. This is a slashing weapon, it's a bladed weapon, and I believe the bastard sword has the parrying trait and the versatile trait. The parrying trait, and then it's automatically looking at these traits and showing what the bonuses are or penalties depending on what type of traits there are. But it says here defensive bonus 10, and that's probably because of the parrying. The versatile makes it so that you can use it two-handed or one-handed. There are conditional bonuses and penalties based on the type of damage, and those aren't shown here, so it doesn't go that far. You have to look at the book and know, oh, slashing, if I'm hitting a location on an enemy that doesn't have armor, well, slashing will do an extra point of damage, and you don't see that. So you gotta remember some of the rules. It's not completely automated. But now that I have this weapon, I can take it and I can drag it into my weapons, and it doesn't work. Okay, so if that happens, we go to our character sheet. Sometimes this happens. I struggle with this occasionally, but we'd go to the template we're using, character, and somehow it has become unlinked. See, so this panel here, it needs to allow for relic, weapon, and weapon. And I should really write a macro that fixes this all when you set it up. But what's happening is it's not recognizing these types for that list. So if I save it and say reload all my character sheets, and we'll see that it it has them. So that's a kind of a defect that I could fix. I could fix with the script that runs when you first load this, and I think I'll do that eventually. Let's just make sure the masteries table is set up correctly too. So mastery and reload, right? Reload all characters. Yes. All right. So another thing you do, and it's good this came up so you can see how it was resolved. Another thing you want to do if you're using this character sheet and not just entering it on the other one, I could demonstrate that real quick. So we have the Luther point 1. And how would I add the weapon? I could just say, and if there's any skill bonus for the weapon. And I think I need to make this be text, yeah. So that you can type a slash or whatever other things, but you could put it in the notes as well, which is text. Oh, defense plus 10, attack plus 10. Swan or something like that. Whatever you wanted could go there. So this would be the simpler way. Next would be masteries, and we set that up exactly like we set the weapons up. You'd make a folder. Add an item. And let's say I got the... And I'm not going to look them up, so I'm just going to make one up. That we would pick. And here you can see the other templates. There are lore book items, and so there's a lore book template. There's the mastery, which we're using. There's relics. There's relic weapons. So if the relic is a weapon, you use this so it can be dragged into your weapons. And then of course the weapon, which I showed you. So we're doing the mastery. We refresh, and here's all the stuff. The description of the mastery would go here, and then the effect that you always get, the ability or bonus, boon, whatever you want to call it, would be here. So let's say it was something that affected your stealth, it would say it here. They just right away you have this always, and it doesn't cost anything. Then you have different tiers in a mastery. These are the different abilities, like the skill tree of the mastery, and you'd put it here. Name, example. These are abilities, I think they're called. I know they're called. Example, ability 1, ability 2, and I won't do them all. And then this would be where you put the cost. So sometimes it'll say, it takes a standard action, and then it'll say cost, like that. And then this would be the full description with any special instructions of the ability. Go here. Now, it's saved once you're done. There's no save button on this. Then we could take that mastery and drag it on. Oh, yeah, let me explain one other thing. Drag it on here, and it would show up here. Now it says unlocked abilities. Well, when you drag an item into an equipable inventory slot, such as the weapons or the masteries, it creates a copy of that item. There is linkage back to the original. If you were to change the original, it would update it. But when you change it here, if you click on this and change something here, it does not update it back the other way. So that means you could customize it and make changes to it here and it won't change the master copy of it. So what we do for the mastery is to unlock it, we just check the checkbox. So let's say I want to unlock this ability. I just check the checkbox, close it, and you can see I've got it unlocked here. And if I were to unlock this later, it would show that too. And it is not checking them here. You can track it that way. Everything that has a red over it, those are clickable. So for instance, if I wanted to do an attack, I could say, okay, I have advantage and a plus 10. Click that, and it would roll it and say, okay, rolling bladed weapons, 95 is what you rolled, but that's 59 with advantage because of how the dice mechanics work. Advantage reverses it if it's in your favor, the 10s and the 1s. So that's a success, and it's showing what bonus you added, and it's saying what the target was with the bonus would have been 70 or under. So that's how your skill rolls work. These are ones where you can just put in ones you make up or from expansions. If there are new skills added, there's some spots for that. This has no automation right now. This is just tracking your resistances and vulnerabilities. Armor has an integrity, and it uses the usage die. So let's say you had cloth armor, that'd be a D6. Protection, whatever the protection is on your legs. And then let's say at the end of combat you said, oh well, I got hit in the leg, so I got to check my combat my armor and see if it took any damage. So you click this, and yes, because I rolled a 2 on a 1 or a 2, leg armor integrity check, integrity decreased, and so we'd have to bump that down to the D4. And if I did that again and I got a 1 or a 2, no change this time, but then it would be damaged, it'd be broken. And I don't have a way to note that here. I have to put that it's broken. And anyways, so that's how that works. Your tension die works the same way. Your layer and domain exit die works the same way. And there's one spot for that because you're not tracking both at the same time. Tracking one and then to the other. I don't think, unless I misunderstood how it works. That's it. Let me show you. I'm going to pause and then I'm going to jump to the update. Oh, I forgot. And I know this video is getting long, but I did want to make sure I cover everything. I forgot the monsters. So let's say you have a monster or overseer. And it's the same process. There's no bugbear in this game, but go to monster. And then you'd put all the stats here. Alright. So let's say you do an update. And then you come back. And you want to check this after you do an update, because sometimes for whatever reason, custom system builder, when you come back after an update, it will not be the correct template. It'll be the first one in the list. So how do you fix this? You might have hundreds of items, and if you put all your masteries and monsters in and everything else, let's say it was back on character, you may have all this stuff and you don't want to have to go through every single one and set it. That would be a total pain in the butt. So there is a macro that after you update, you run this macro, and it takes a little bit of time for it to execute, so just wait. But I'm going to execute this. In the background, it's running this thing. Mastery's a mastery again. Weapon's a weapon again. I had set those all got reset. For some reason, the bugbear may be because we hadn't entered anything yet. Okay, I just checked this out, and there was a little issue. I had to reload. For some reason, I had to come in here, and do the reload application. And then it had registered it. So what do you do? Oh, I already showed you. So that's it. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully covered some of the common issues that you see. And I will probably make another video where I play this using the Foundry modules so that we can see it being demonstrated, and who knows, I may run into other issues that I can address and or make a note to address as we go through it. All right, thanks everybody for watching. See you next time.